Hey everybody, good to see you guys again. My name's Alec, and I'm going to be discussing the case study that we read on the cruise industry. So, I believe that the situation that Celebrity Cruises and Royal Caribbean Cruises is experiencing is pretty serious. Um, Trying to make your company more diverse and differentiating yourself between other cruise industry companies is pretty tough, especially in the growing cruise market. One of the reasons why it's tough for Celebrity Cruises is because they are trying to keep their reputation intact, which is upscale experiences at intelligent prices. And this is a pretty hard goal to complete, especially for Celebrity Cruises, because they are dealing with not just the luxury market of the cruise industry, but they're also dealing with the mass market of the cruise industry. Um, this shouldn't be too hard of a thing because Celebrity Cruises is a pretty successful company. They have done pretty well for themselves. They Once Royal Caribbean had merged with Celebrity Cruises, both Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Cruises took was it 2.4 million passengers from the overall passengers that were coming from the North American region, which is a pretty extreme number for a company like this. I believe that this chase for diversity is a big deal, not just because of their slogan, but it will allow them to ensure that their customers will stay with them. When they get more diversity into their cruise ships, it creates a more attractive product for more. For more diverse customers. More people will be looking at their cruises and being a little more trustworthy of them. I believe what's at stake is their reputation as for their mission statement, the upscale experience at an intelligent price. This is definitely at stake here, as well as the trust of their loyalty members of the Captain's Club. Definitely a big deal for them to keep those customers. As far as their most significant problem being faced, I believe that it's essentially getting new customers onto the boat. Because it seems that once people go on cruises, they come back. There was a line in the case study that said that about half of the guests that go on cruises are repeat cruisers, which is a awesome stat. Meaning that if Celebrity Cruises were to just reach out to more people, they could essentially keep these people for life, especially if they play their cards right with their loyalty program. So I believe that's their most significant problem, is reaching customers and showing them that being on a cruise is an excellent experience, and that once they do it, they'll continue to want to come back. Is especially if there is a loyalty program. As far as who should be blamed for not, reaching a diverse amount of customers, it's not necessarily anyone's fault, but it would help if the marketing department were to cast a bigger net as far as that target market, and be able to work with more travel agents, because according to the case study, over 90% of the cruise bookings are through a travel agent, which makes sense because people want to see what they're going to get if they're going to spend all this money. Want to make sure that their cruise is what they were bargaining for, what they're paying for. So, I think that the firm has done pretty well, and I think the reason why is because they are dealing with both mass tourism, mass target markets, and the luxury target markets. And they've been able to kind of keep those separated, but also overlapping just a little bit at the same time. Making sure that the mass marketing people don't necessarily see some of the stuff that goes on over in these luxury experiences that people have worked hard for, and especially to loyalty customers, they've really enjoyed their benefits that the cruise Celebrity Cruises has provided for them. If it were up to me to make these decisions for Celebrity Cruises, what would keep me up at night is that trying to reach those tourists or guests that have never been on a cruise, and trying to show them what it's like to be on a cruise, because I've never been on a cruise, but apparently from this case study, describing what a cruise entails is impossible. It's one of the hardest things to do, and to show customers that have never been on a cruise what a cruise is like, I think it would be super beneficial for them to really get more customers and allow themselves to grow as an industry or as a business. I think the best option to be pursued is definitely the ad campaign. The ad campaign is a great idea because it allows the company to show customers who they really are and give them the opportunity to make a decision when it comes down to them wanting to go on a cruise. It also gives Celebrity Cruises an opportunity to prove themselves as far as describing what benefits there are to a cruise, and why a cruise is best suited for their vacation, and for their money, because they want to make sure they get what they're supposed to. I would recommend that Celebrity Cruises starts to just get more customers, which is a hard thing to do. It's easy to say, but essentially doing that ad campaign, I think it's a really big deal. You'll catch a lot of people's attention if you do this ad correctly. I think that providing an ad that shows how relaxing and how beneficial a cruise can be for a family vacation or even a single person vacation, and how their money being spent goes a long way and really opens up doors for how they can spend their vacation. My reasoning for going with the ad campaign is because the survey that they put out that said that 9 out of 10 people would go on a cruise again. I think that number shows that if you can get someone on your boat, they will most likely want to come back. And if you can provide them the experience that they bargained for, that the travel agent provided for them, based on the survey and the initial statement at the beginning of the case study that talks about how almost 50% of the cruisers are repeat cruisers. So I think those two, which are both from the case study, really drive home the point that if you can get them on your boat, they will most likely want to come back. And I think that's the biggest hump or challenge to be faced in the celebrity cruise industry. So thank you guys. Thanks for listening. See you soon.